Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Cade Stone. We're coming back to you today with some more Banished, Colonial Charter. I believe this is episode 6 at this point. For those of you who are just tuning in, go ahead and go back to the first episode to watch the adventure we've had so far with this crazy colony. For those of you who have been up with every episode, thank you for coming back. And if anyone hasn't hit that subscribe button below, go ahead and hit that now just so you'll always be notified whenever I have new videos out. Okay, now for those of you who are returning to us, you'll probably remember last time we had a huge culling. We lost 27 people, I believe it was. Yeah, we had 2 in there at the beginning, 29 now. We're still having issues with our food. We need logs, we need stone, we need clothes. I've been looking into a few things, going through the comments, getting some suggestions there, so hopefully we'll be able to turn this town back around. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and continue on. We're going to slow this down just to 1x speed, just to see what in the world is going on here. We do have some crops that are just about to come in. We're at 97% yield, we're in late summer, so our people should start harvesting soon. And then whenever they're done, we're going to switch this over to corn just to get something different the next year. We have some pine trees growing here from this lodge, but right now we have those workers turned off to focus on this one. We only have one person doing that though. As you can see over here, we're down to just 1 laborer. We have only 1 builder. And 4 farmers, a bunch of fishermen. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to turn the number of fishermen down. I know that sounds like a crazy idea, but we're going to cut that in half for now, and we're going to increase over here in the Forester Lodge. We want this to grow as fast as possible. Whenever this is grown, then we're going to get the gatherers out here, and whenever we have the gatherers, that's whenever we're really going to come into our own when it comes to food production. As you'll see here, the gatherers really do bring in a lot of food per season, as well as the hunting lodge. You know, that's over 1,000 food easily, whereas the farm only brings in once per year, and that's just like 1,200. That's not bad. However, it's not very good either. And there we go, we finally have some of our students becoming adults again. So you'll see that we're up to 2 laborers now. Now I did have a request to just put the professions window up. For now, I'm still looking into how to get this to be resizable, but I'll just randomly go over here and pop this around every once in a while. So right now, to complete our buildings, we're going to need logs, we're going to need stone. As you can see, we have a little bit of stone here, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have any logs. And do we have wood cutting? Yeah, we have wood cutting on our Forester's Lodge, but we will be moving this herbalist sooner rather than later, as soon as we get the right people in to do that. So let's go ahead and just set up a quick harvest job just right down here at the bottom part of town. Our laborers should get to that rather quickly, and I'm just going to do a basic remove resources so they can just grab everything that's in there, hopefully a little bit of food as well. And then we'll need just a little bit of stone, which I believe we don't have any right there. We've got a little bit of stone over here, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and bump the simulation speed back up to 5 times. We'll be able to keep an eye on what all is going on here. Now our amount of stored food is going up. And once we get the food issue taken care of, I'm going to start moving houses. Some are going to go over here. Some are going to go over here just to make sure that our people who are working these areas don't have as far to walk. That was another suggestion that was brought up, and I'm definitely going to follow that suggestion. Now this area is going to take a little while to actually come into its own, so we'll just turn the cutting off just for now. Let them just continue to plant, because we want as many trees as possible over in this area. Okay, the reserve of logs is low once again, but we should have logs coming in right down here. And those logs should be split between the gatherer's hut and over here at the woodcutters. And when it comes to our firewood, we are running horrendously low. You'll see It should be in here somewhere, I believe. But I'm not seeing it. But we only have 72 firewood here and 77 here. So we're not horrendously low. We're almost actually at cap. That's around 150. We need 200 to hit cap on our firewood. We're not going to be building any more houses for a little bit. I feel that had something to do with the massive amount of death we had in our last episode. Simply because the new houses just started grabbing up as much as they possibly could. And that should be, our reserve of logs is still low. That's going to keep happening. Now we already have the stone over here. We just need 14 more logs, which are being delivered right now. Yeah, we're at 26, so we need 4 more logs. Then our gatherer's hut over on this side will be fully furnished, or fully equipped as well to be built. Stocked, that's the word I'm looking for, sorry. And our people here just in mid-autumn are already almost completed with their farming order. So as soon as the farm is cleared out, then we're going to turn all the farmers off of here. We'll pay attention just to let them take care of that in the spring, summer, and autumn until the harvest is complete. And then I'm going to be turning all of these people onto gathering. Now, whenever the gathering starts, then we will be removing the field. Whenever this area over here is fully saturated with trees, whenever it becomes a little bit larger, an older forest. Okay, there we go. We'll switch this to corn. We're also going to turn all of our farmers. They're in here somewhere. We're just turning that off completely. So that should bring our laborers up to 6. So these laborers will be able to clear this area out a lot faster. But I'm going to bump this up to 4. We'll bump that up to 4, and I'm just going to turn this one over here completely off. Yeah, we can go with just 1. So this one should get all 4. It should be fully staffed. And with that full staff, they should be able to plant trees. We'll also turn cutting on over here as well, just to get rid of some of the trees that are almost dead. Okay. So our herbalists, I mean, they're still full. They're at their limit. No, not anymore. But we do have a trader. Okay, so the trader has some interesting items here. They do have domesticated animals. Now, from what I was seeing, domesticated animals, you need that to make a few different buildings. That's not like, hey, they brought cows or they brought chickens. But at this point, let's see, our food stocks, actually, they're looking pretty good. So how many... Oh, that's our inventory. Sorry, my bad. Hull components and homewares. Sorry, buddy. I'm going to have to give you a pass. We don't need any of that at this moment. And actually, we should be able to turn one person into a tailor at this point. We still have 3 laborers. So we'll start getting clothing in again, finally. And I'm going to take the clothes limit up to 150. I want to make sure that we have more than enough clothing for our population. And I don't know why I closed that. Okay, so our gatherer's hut is almost complete. They're just finishing the build there. Our foresters are doing a good job, just planting trees, letting things grow over here. This might take another season. But in the meantime, I'm going to turn 2 gatherers on over here. So we'll be running at least half capacity. And then over in this gatherer's hut, they're running full capacity. So hopefully that will take care of our food issues. From everything I've heard, the gatherer's huts really are one of the best ways to get food. So we have people jumping back and forth. We have 3 here. And then over on this side we have 2. We're down to one laborer again. I want to make sure that we have at least one at all times. But I also need the forest over here to be replanted as much as possible. Now, I don't know if they do that in the wintertime. That is something, if anyone knows, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. But our people will continue to work here. They've gathered a little bit of ginger so far, and you were able to see that that was being carried over here. Now we don't have actually any notifications right now saying that, hey, you're about to die. So this is absolutely a fantastic improvement over the last episode. We're right here just in midwinter, and I see we have positive growth on our amount of stored clothes. Of course, people are going to be grabbing that almost immediately. Let's check just some of our people's status. The clothing here is ragged. That's something we're definitely going to see on a lot of people for a little while. Who was that just grabbed that? Well, we'll find out at some point. I can't be bothered. Yeah, as everyone remembers, I did clear out this entire area over here from all resources. So this will take a little while for this bit of forest cluster to grow up. And whenever it does, we will be removing all of the things that are basically tile blockers through here. Like all of this, what is that, iron or stone? I think that's iron. Yeah, that is iron. So I'll be removing all the iron through here. Now we do need more stone, like right now. So I'll set a decent sized stone collection over there manually. And we have more iron down here. We've got iron pretty much everywhere around here, as well as a large stockpile of iron ore in our stockpile. Now, I don't know where that salt came from. I'm stumped. But we're back up to 2 laborers at this point. So how are our gatherers doing? Yeah, that's already better than we could have thought. We've got clothing being produced. I saw that up at 2 just a moment ago. So before too long, our people will not be running around naked any longer. So 2 is pretty much the minimum on the laborers that I want. Somehow we're up to 2 builders. I'll turn one of those off. Apparently we had 2 builders earlier. 1 died. Let's see, what else do we actually need? We need another blacksmith. And someone actually just grew up and became an adult again. So we'll turn the blacksmith back on. That's going to be the person working the small iron smelter. So they'll be using up our furnace fuel, which doesn't actually look like we have any at this moment. So I'll go ahead and turn the work off here. And I'll turn it back on over here at the blacksmith so that we can get our tool stockpile back up to the 80 that we wanted at. Okay, now we are at early spring. So the foresters once again will be brought down to just 1 working this area, because we have to have our 4 farmers over here. Here we go, there's 3, and number 4 should be popping in sometime now. There we go, there's number 4. Okay, so they will get this farm up and running. We'll be able to get our food in before the winter time. And we actually have a pretty nice little surplus already going into spring. Now, if you remember from last time, our stockpile was non-existent. So it looks like everything we did in the last episode actually did help us quite a bit. And you can see that there have already been 55 hide coats created between the 2 seasons this has been running. Right now we don't have any in surplus. There we go, we have 2 stored. So we should be able to get hide coats up to the point where we're not really going to have to worry about our people freezing simply from not having clothes. And since we've created that many, how are your clothing? There we go, one of our farmers has fair clothing. Okay, and how are we doing on laborers? We're back up to 3. So I will turn the work back on here, because we want more furnace fuel. And we're just going to turn this on to one person working this. So slowly but surely, we can work our way out of this massive hole that we dug ourselves into. Okay, so we still have 45 iron. How is our blacksmith doing? Looks like they have created a fair bit of tools, just replacing everything that was already worn out so far. And this area is looking a lot better. It's still very young, but the food production does look like it does continue to rise through the seasons here. As we get more people growing up, we'll get more gatherers. Because what I want overall is I want 2 fully stocked gatherers' huts. After we get that, then we're going to be moving the herbalist. And I'll probably put that over here in this already grown forest cluster. How is this one doing? We took a big hit whenever we started moving people around. But I don't think that was a bad idea. We definitely want to get this over here working a lot faster. And I am going to turn this one down to half staff, so that we can get more over here in this area that's already grown. We still have our 4 farmers. We're at 3% yield, and unfortunately I had to turn that off again in the late spring. So it looks like they're just a little bit behind where they normally are. I don't think, however, that this is going to be a problem. We're already at 3% yield, and we are growing corn this year. So they'll have a fair bit of balance in the diet. You know, eat parsnips one year, corn the next. All the time they're getting a fair supply of venison and duck meat coming in from this hunting cabin, which also does bring us the leather that we so desperately need for the clothing, and it brings us feathers as well. Now, I don't know what feathers are for at this point. Probably, if I had to venture a guess, would do something with bedding, maybe that has to do with clothing, actually. Yeah, reeds plus feathers for survival coats. We can do better than that, because we do have leather. Now, eventually, we'll probably switch over to wool, or dress coats or full coats. But for now, we can make hide, so that's what our people will be surviving with. Okay, we're up to 3 laborers. So I'm going to put 1 person working here. And they can start moving things around for us. But yes, our stockpile of stored clothes is up to 54. We have more clothes than we have people. So everyone should have the ability to get themselves 1 or 2 outfits throughout the year. So at this point, all we're waiting for is just getting more people. More of these children to grow into students, to grow into adults, so that we can actually supply some of our buildings. Okay, so let's see. We had some sand that we had brought in. I still don't know where that salt's from, but I think we're going to leave this stuff over here. The tailor, what are you waiting on? You have no leather. Okay, let's just turn you off again. We'll have nobody work that. They can go back to being a laborer again. And we'll turn them into a smelter. Okay, yeah, that has 1 of 1. This one still has 0 of 1. But they'll be able to use that furnace fuel that we've been creating. We've only got 8 so far. But we can... 16, 24. I don't know where the third bunch is. But yeah, according to this, we have 24 furnace fuel. Yeah, there's another 8 there. And with that furnace fuel, we'll be able to begin production of iron out of this iron ore. Now, that's the only thing the small iron smelter can do, is just create the iron. But that iron is going to be used over here to create tools. Now, we can upgrade this eventually to a large smithy or to a country smithy. Yeah, country. So that's something we'll have to think about before too long. Now, our forest cluster over here does look like it is coming along absolutely phenomenally. We have some bare patches right now. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. It'll continue to be worked. We do have only one person over here planting the trees. And you'll see that sometimes the trees do die from old age. With that, actually we're cutting them as well. So they're either dying of old age or they're being produced as logs. Yeah, you can see that they're bringing in a fair stream of logs that are being used to create our firewood, mostly. We don't have any stored right now. And we have no firewood stored over there. Let's see, do we have any here? We only have 10 firewood, so we're running dangerously low. We're 26 somehow. So let's go ahead and just start some resource removals. I'm going to get it right here in town, in this block where we're going to be growing. As well as right up here, because we can grab a little bit of stone here as well. And we'll just clear out this area. It doesn't have to be very big. That's going to give us some logs. That's going to give us some stone. That's just a few things that we do need just to make sure that we can grow. Okay, so this is at the production limit. Good. We'll turn that down. And we'll turn work off here. So we're only going to have the person working on the smelter. I don't care how much they do, honestly, because the iron is going to be used. It just looks like the iron ore takes up less room than the actual iron does. So for this time being, I guess leaving the iron limit at 200 is fair. Okay, we're at 3 laborers once again. We can move this up to 6. So that should fully staff us over here on this gatherer. Yes. And then the other gatherer will be at half staff. And you can see here that they are bringing in quite a bit now. And now that they're fully staffed once again, they're going to be back up to their max production. And all through the year so far, we are running a surplus of roughly 1,200. So I don't want to say right now that we fixed it, guys, but I think we fixed it. So all these things are being stored here in the small market. The small market will also make sure that everyone has the opportunity just to get their home inventory pretty equalized with everybody else, so that we don't have a situation where 1 or 2 houses are taking all the resources and leaving everyone else to die. Because that is definitely something that we don't want to run into ever again. Okay, and at this point, I need to get rid of the herbalist here. So let's go ahead and just set a deconstruction order. We'll just set that one to be destroyed. That really doesn't serve any purpose being here, and our laborer, our builder needs something to do. So they're going to remove any inventory the house has. And then can you... Okay, so if you press this, then it's just it just deletes the order altogether. Okay, I see what you were talking about here. Everyone Loves Pirates gave me a pretty good idea as how to clear out the houses here without actually destroying them. You can set a remove order and then just remove the number of workers working there. Okay, so that's not a bad idea, and that will let us turn these houses off eventually to move people. Let's see, do we have any trader coming down the river? It's that time of year again. So let's just take a quick look up through here, see if there's anyone on their way to us. And yes, there they are right there. Okay, now the next large order of business that we have going into the winter, we have... Actually, that's a really big stockpile of stone. So I need to be on the other side of this river. So... what kind of bridge do we want to put on here? We've got brick, we've got stone, we've just got the classic stone and wood. And I think that's the one I'm going to use. So this is going to take 60 stone and 15 wood to get across right there. Is there anyone anywhere else through this little stretch? That's one tile shorter. We'll go ahead and put that there. And hopefully the trader will be able to get underneath the bridge so we didn't just kill trade altogether. But if we did, it's more important for me to be able to get over here than it is for the trader to be able to make it here. Speaking of which, where in the hell did they go? Ah, there they are right there. So we have this building 73% demolished. And our forest cluster over here, you can absolutely see exactly how far the radius on this woodcutter goes. Or the forester, sorry. But at this point, it looks like we are getting a pretty good supply of just wild harvestables taking over this area. So as soon as we get one more of our students grown up into an adult, we'll turn them onto a gatherer. And there is our trade right there. So they have mulberry leaves. I don't know what that's for. Can you eat that? What kind of item is a mulberry leaf? We'll take one. I just want to know what this is, and I will give you one feather in exchange. Now, we don't actually need anything else from this trader, so they can be on their way. But what in the world is this mulberry leaf? What does it do? You know, it doesn't actually say. So if anyone knows down in the comments, go ahead and just leave me a message. I kind of want to know exactly what that thing does. So let's see here. I think this this episode has actually been a fantastic time just to see how a village can bounce back even whenever you think all is lost. You know, I didn't think that we would be able to make it just as well as what we did. I know I've heard from a couple of people that there's no way the village is going to survive after that. Some people even told me that they didn't think that we were going to make it through that. So I just want to thank everyone for showing up. Once again, my name is Cade Stone. Let's see how the village does in the next episode.